All right, everyone, welcome to App State Press Conference. We're going to introduce Whitney Jones today. Thank you all for coming. We're going to have Doug Gillen start with an opening statement. He'll introduce Whitney, and then we'll have Whitney talk, and then we'll go into questions from media members. So without further ado, we'll have Doug come up and take the stage.
Thank you, Jacob. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. It's always a great day for our university. It's a great day for our athletics department, and certainly a great day for our softball program to announce our next leader. Bringing in a head coach at our university is a really, really special position. We have a lot of them in the crowd today. We ask our head coaches to do a lot of different things, not just coach. We ask them to grow our young women and our young men, and when we bring them in here, we take it really, really seriously. So we're excited for today. Just to give you a little bit of background of where we've been over the last couple weeks in the sport of softball, and as we were looking for our next head coach, I want to first and foremost thank our search committee, in particular Jonathan Reeder and Sarah Strickland, for all the work that they did in our search. I also want to make sure that I make special mention of our vice chair of our board of trustees, Tommy Sofield, for being here today. So thank you, Tommy, for being here. You know it's a big day. So just a couple of things. So whenever we're doing a search for a head coach, as we always talk about, we look at our core values and make sure that everybody that we're looking at and talking to, they emulate the core values that we have, and that's first and foremost academic integrity. Our student athletes are here to get their degree, first and foremost. Secondly, we want to make sure we're socially responsible. We want to make sure that we know that we represent something way bigger than ourselves, not only our student athletes, our head coaches, and all of our administration. Thirdly, we want to make sure that we're providing a competitive excellence for all of our sports, and we're providing the resources to make that happen. And then lastly, we wanted a coach that wanted to make sure that she believes in providing that world-class experience. So as we went on our search, we wanted to find somebody that competed at the highest level in the country. Check. We wanted to make sure that we found somebody that had coached at the highest level in the country. Check. We wanted to make sure that somebody that had developed young women at the highest level, at the highest institutions, and competed and participated in those universities. Check. We want to make sure somebody was developing our student athletes. And then lastly, and this was a question that we asked everybody, but do you believe that we can win the Sun Belt Conference Championship at App State? And there's only one answer, and that's yes. And you've got to come in with that belief and in that mindset of a competitor and a winner. And that's the last thing I'll say is we wanted a winner. And in my opinion, we found that. And we found that, and I'll say Whitney today, but moving forward, I'm supposed to say Coach Whit, so I'll have to make sure that I address her appropriately. But a national search, and I could not be more pleased today to announce to you the next head softball coach at App State, Whitney Jones.
Wow, thank you. For those of you who don't know, it is Doug's birthday, so happy birthday, Doug. And thank you for sharing in this day with me. But what a great day to be a Mountaineer. I am super honored and thrilled to be here. I want to thank, first and foremost, my dad took a red eye out here last night, and so for him to be in the stands he's sitting right here in the front row, is everything to me. So family is very important, and first and foremost, my faith has been my driver in my whole life, and I just want to thank God for the doors He's opened and closed to allow me to be standing here today, because I wouldn't be here without Him. So that faith is very important to me. Faith and family are the top two values I hold on to. So wow, this is surreal. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for being in attendance. We have our players right here in the front row, and it just warms my heart to give you guys hugs and know that I get to work alongside you guys. I want to thank Chancellor Norris. I want to thank Doug, Sarah, Jonathan, and our student athletes and our support staff. You have made me feel at home already. A little bit, I got to shout Sarah out. She has been an absolute rock star, like putting everything together in such timely manners. I drove with her from Charlotte up here, and she's like, well, what are your favorite foods? And if you know anything about me, I'm a foodie. Like, food is my love language, and I love all kinds of food, baked goods. And I told her, I was like, well, top 3 would probably be Italian, Mexican, and barbecue. And sure enough, in 24 hours of being here, I had all 3, and they were amazing. So Sarah has just been literally on top and the most supportive person I could have asked for through this process. So Sarah, thank you very much. Throughout my coaching journey, I've been very fortunate to be under some great head coaches, some great leaders. Growing up, I've always admired just sports in general and good leaders, good cultures, and good programs. And to stand here in front of you today as the next head coach for our App State softball program is a huge honor, and I don't take it lightly. In the interview process, Doug asked me, "Can you see yourself in the mountains of Boone, North Carolina?" I was like, "Yes, I can." And then further down the conversation, he goes, "All right, so are you interested in the job?" And I'm like, "I am." I said, "But I need to put my feet on the ground in Boone, and I need to meet the people." And he said, "Easy." And now I see why. Within 24 hours of being here, I knew App is where I wanted to call home. People always ask, "What's your dream job?" And you always want to hear like the big Power 5 school and the big this. To me, my dream job was to have the dream team around me and surrounding our athletes to make us be successful. And in my time being here so far, the amount of support, the amount of intention, and the family atmosphere that I already feel made me know that I can be here and I'm going to be successful because of the people around me and the people around our athletes. In sport and in life, I've always been taught that it's important to know those who come before you. And to me, it's going to be important, ladies, that we honor our coaches that came before us, our players that came before us, and we know who came before us. So expect a little treat in the near future here of us connecting with the alumni and doing a little project, because it's always important to honor those that came before you. And with that being said, I want to thank Shelly, I want to thank our prior coaches and all of our players, current and former, that have been a part of App and given their all for us to build upon today. Also, with the alumni piece, I look forward, there's traditions that come with every team, and every team is going to have their own identity, their own story, and so I look forward to learning old traditions of the program while also creating new traditions with you all. I think having the spirit of the past, the present, and the future amongst everything we're doing is so important. So alumni, I look forward to connecting with you, I look forward to connecting you with our players, and I look forward to making new traditions. In conversations I've had with everybody so far, there is so much excitement around our program's new stadium, our facilities, and our program, like Doug just mentioned, getting to the top of the Sun Belt, winning championships, and getting to the NCAA tournament. Like, that is our goal, and that is what we're coming here to do. If you know anything about me, just kind of my whole mentality in life and coaching, I'm very much about breaking boundaries. Like, I want to do what's never been done before, and I want to make history. So a mentality of why not me or why not us is what we're going to take into this year. Why not us? We have every opportunity, every resource. We have the family, the support system. Why not us? We are stewards of this program. Okay, and I'm fortunate enough to be chosen to be at the top of it, and it is our responsibility to leave it better than we found it, and that is my intent to do so. Our commitment to our core values of academic integrity, competitive excellence, social responsibility, and the world-class experience will be our drivers. We know that sport is the vehicle that has created opportunity and friendships for a lifetime. We also know our athletic careers will come to an end. And our athletes being set up to win in life is our true measure of success. Someone once asked me the question. They said, "What makes playing softball fun?" And I think if you ask a 6-year-old just starting to play the game, they're going to say, "Well, it's playing with my friends. It's Susie's mom's snack bag at the end of the game." Like, that's what makes softball fun when you first start out. But you ask a high-level competitor what makes softball fun, and they're going to say it's winning. Like, winning makes softball fun. And it's doing the hard work. It's out-preparing our opponent. It's the confidence you gain from doing the work you know others didn't. And we plan to embrace the hard and find joy in the journey. Competitive excellence looks and sounds a certain way, and that will be the daily culture here. It is a privilege to be here, and it is our responsibility to serve and give back to our community. We were all once that little girl who looked up to somebody in our shoes and wanted to be them. We saved the sign balls, the autograph posters. We have the photos from when we were little and took pictures with players. We get to. We get to be the leaders and role models in our community, and we look forward to doing so. Our athletes having a world-class experience here at App is of utmost importance. The memories you make on and off the field will be what you take with you for life. As our group comes together this fall and gets going this year, expect championship behaviors, mindset, and habits to be our daily driver. An expectation of attention to details, max effort at full attention to the present moment, and smart, aggressive softball is going to be our standard. And standards are not the ceiling. Our goals are the ceiling. Standards are the floor. And ultimately, what we say is not the standard, but what we allow becomes a standard. And we are all accountable to holding each other to that. So ladies, I will leave you with this. I'm committed to getting to know you, to learn you, to push you, love you, and guide you to become the best versions of yourself on and off the field. Who we are is why we win. And I know we have a special group of young women ready to be led to one common goal together. So today and every day, I give my all for App, and I give my all for you. And lastly, to the community of Boone, to our fans, we love you, we thank you, and we can't wait to see you pack the stadium this spring and support your Mountaineers. Thank you.
All right, so now we'll move into questions from media members. If you have a question, I just ask that you raise your hand and say your name, and we'll go ahead and fire away.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Ragone. So you mentioned a new stadium, new coach, new stadium. It's really a new era for App State softball. How do you find some stability in a time where there's so much change?
I think we just get to write our own story, and I think that's the most exciting part about it. We get to create the narrative moving forward, and we know what it's supposed to look like, and it's now working daily to having those championship behaviors, and it's going to be one day at a time, but I think literally we get to create our own story, and we literally get to write our own narrative, and that's, I think, the most exciting part about moving forward with the new stadium and new facilities.
Any other questions?
Madam President, App State Athletics, Coach, welcome, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Obviously, you touched on the stadium a little bit, but you spoke about needing to get your feet here in Boone. When you got a chance to see what will be the future home of the Mountaineers for the first time, what was your reaction? What's your vision for what that place can become?
When I stepped foot and we were like pulling up, I was like, I couldn't wait to get out of the car. I was actually trying to get out of the car, I think, before the car stopped. And we're literally standing there, and I can just vision, we went to baseball beforehand too, and baseball, I'm like picturing, we're gonna pack this stadium, but there's so much room for growth as well in the stadium. So I envision moving forward just a stadium that continues to grow, a fan base that continues to grow around our program, and just continuing to make it better. Like, this is a start, and how can we continue to leave it better than we found it and continue to grow and expand upon that?
Recruiting across college athletics, it's a new era in a lot of ways across
Absolutely.
sports. What does that look like for you and your philosophy for the future of App State softball?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the recruiting space is going to be the most important space moving forward, and the right fit is the most important piece in the recruiting as well. So we need culture and we need talent, and we need people who are going to be culture kids, but also we want to play smart, aggressive, fast softball. Like, we want to play softball at a high level, and we need to have softball IQ. So as far as, like, this is the hot time for recruiting actually right now as we go into it. So it's recruiting the pieces that we need to get to the championship and win the Sun Belt, and then it's also recruiting the right fit for our culture and what we're building.
What about scheduling? What ideas do you have on that front?
Yeah, a more competitive preseason schedule. I think the only way to know where you're at is to play the best competition and grade yourself. So you need a balance of competition within your preseason schedule, but we need to play ranked opponents in our preseason schedule, and we need to be at those tournaments playing those opponents and building our schedule that way. So RPI is going to be a huge piece of the schedule that we build and how we go moving forward.
You obviously had a very successful playing career. You've been around some really successful programs as an assistant. What are some characteristics that you've taken from the different head coaches that you've been around that resonate most with you that you hope to bring here to App State?
Anywhere I've ever been and the coaches I learned from, the culture is always paramount to what we do. And culture, like I said, is not the words on the wall. It's not what we say, it's what we do and what we hold each other accountable to every day. So culture has been a huge driver from the coaches I've learned under. A team-first mentality, like being about the team. So every offense I've ever ran, everything I believe in, it's centered around the team. And so it's the individual knowing their role within the collective offense, but it's also team first in all that we do. So it's continuing to drive the team, but also feeding into the individual and how their role as an individual helps the team. But in all you do, you have to think about the team first. And so team first, being accountable, being disciplined. Discipline's huge for me. Like the details matter, and every detail every day in everything you do is gonna matter. Like who you are sometimes is who you are all the time. And so those details are gonna be important for us moving forward.
Coach Bob Dillner, Appalachian Weekly News on App TV. Welcome, first of all.
Thank you.
Second of all, I want to know how much time you've had with the players, getting to know them, that sort of thing, and what was that first experience like?
So first experience was our Zoom call, which was amazing. Fired me up. I was so happy to get on, see all their faces. Some of them had their videos off. I had to tell them to get their videos on. But just being on that Zoom call with them and just seeing the faces of who I get to lead was just amazing. And then from that call, we set up little 20-minute calls to check in with each of them and the incoming players as well. And they're just excited. They're ready to get after it. They're excited for high energy. They're excited to be great. Like they want to be great, they want to be led, they want to be pushed, and I think that's what I'm most excited about from those interactions with them.
And to go off of what Matt was talking about, you've been part of many different programs, both as a player and a coach. What do you say the biggest thing is that you can bring from one of those programs that you learned that you're going to bring over here to App State and this?
I do a great job connecting. I feel like I'm like a shepherd, and my ability to get a whole group together and go in one direction, I think, is my strength and something I've carried with me everywhere I've gone. Also, I have a ridiculous work ethic. Like nobody will outwork me or us or our program, and we will be prepared better than anybody else we're going to step on the field against. And so I think those two characteristics is what's going to help me lead our team where we need to go.
Nicholas Ragone, Appalachian Weekly News, again.
Hi.
This is, you have a lot of experience Power 5 programs. You played at Washington, you coached at Ohio State. How do you take what you've learned from Power 5 programs and take it to a mid-major like Appalachian State?
The game is the game. Like the game of softball is the game of softball, regardless of what level you're playing at. And so it's really recruiting, it's teaching, it's developing, and it's casting vision that these athletes can literally take and run with. So I don't look at it as Power 5 mid-major. I look at us and I'm going to expect us to have those type of expectations if that's where, like we're trying to win a championship. And to win championships and take it to the NCAA tournament, it's going to take those expectations from places that I've been at.
This is your first collegiate head coaching job. What have you learned as an assistant that prepares you for a job like this?
That's a great question. I've actually learned a lot. I've learned a lot being an assistant, and I think communication is vital. Communication is going to be vital to our success, especially with me being a first-time head coach and having the staff underneath me. Like communication is going to be huge. Feedback, being open to feedback and receiving feedback, I think is also going to be huge. But also just casting the same expectations we have for the players. That has to start from the top down. And so I've just learned being an assistant that the more I can do to take off the head coach's plate and like be the face and help them, that's going to help our program. So definitely, like those are the type of people we want to surround our athletes with.
Any other questions for Coach Witt? All right. Doug's going to now present Coach Witt with a jersey.
Yeah, so we're going to step over here. Now her dad's going to come up and take the picture. Carl didn't know that was happening. Whitney's dad flew all the way from California, she told me this morning, so All right, you got us? Yeah. All right, thank you all for being here today. Go App.